Lloyd Cato here from Otac Bulldogs. Today I'm here to talk to you about the difference between protection dogs and sport dogs. So you get a dog from a litter, or puppy from a litter, and raise it as a sport dog, or raise that same dog as a protection dog if that dog has the right balance and has the right qualities to make it in both. These are the type of topics that interest you. Can you please like, share and make a comment? And if there's things in this video that you agree with or don't agree with, it'll be good to hear from you, to hear your point of view. So I'll be waiting to respond. Some of the different variations or differences that you will find between a protection dog and a sport dog, you'll find that protection dogs can also be well bred, just like a sport dog can be, and their training can actually be quite similar in the early foundations, where you're doing building a dog, building up its drive, doing the bite work in a game, because the best way for a dog to learn at first is in a game, and they learn to do correct biting procedures, learning to take commands, whether it's control work, bite development, and building up environmental stimuli. What then ends up happening is that it comes to a point where the training changes for a protection dog compared to a sport dog. Protection dog is a dog that's usually with a family or an individual with a household that can be used and go anywhere in the public, in a car, and go to wherever that individual needs to be taking that dog. In general, most high-end sport dogs are highly driven, and they tend to, most people who are quite serious in the sports, whether they're doing KMPV, IGP, IPO, PSA, they tend to have their dogs living in a kennel with them and take that dog out to do either routine training or routine type formats, and the dog is usually taken from the kennel to the training facility to do a training session, and they live in that kind of a routine type of strict routines, whether it's meals, treats, and going through training mechanisms. People get a misconception that a protection dog is an aggressive dog on the lead that is very aggressive and try to show a lot of teeth and aggression to everything that basically moves, or any person that they see. And some of these dogs that are always showing aggression are usually or tend to be fair aggressive dogs, and that's not the type of dog I'm referring to. A protection dog should be a calm and smart dog which has a good solid temperament that can be taken anywhere in public. They can be taken to a park, they can be taken to a train station, travel with you wherever you're on public transport, or driving in a car. Protection dog should be able to go anywhere with the family or with the individual who owns that dog, staying in hotels or other places, and the dog should be solid enough and have a good temperament to be able to handle any kind of situation. One of the main things that distinguishes a protection dog from a sport dog is the real life situations. A protection dog should be able to really bite a person without equipment. That is one of the main differences. Whereas there are sport dogs that can also bite a person, but they may not be suitable for being reliable as a well-trained protection dog. But a sport dog doesn't actually have to have a civil drive, a defensive drive, where they're showing real aggression in their work. Obviously, they can be trained to show aggression in the sport. So those who are more interested in high-end sports will probably want a dog that is very prey orientated. Also, you want to have good nerves, but it's not always necessary to have quite solid nerves in some sports, because they might not get exposed when a dog is being overly conditioned with the particular sport it's in, because sometimes they go in certain drills and the dog gets used to those environments, those kind of routines and structures that particular dog is in. Whereas, however, most people would prefer to have a solid temperament, whether it's a sport dog or a protection dog. The sport dogs now, having the high-end drive because of the training routines, the constant drills is more required for a sport dog, whereas protection dog don't necessarily need to be high drive. You may require something that's more medium drive because you want something to be around the home, go with you wherever, and don't be overly stimulated, and doesn't necessarily have to be constantly switched on, as in some of the top sport dogs are. The other key differences between what I would call a protection dog and a sport dog is the mentality that the individuals who are owning these dogs are looking to have. You get some, like I said, you could get some sport dogs that can actually go out with an individual and actually do some useful protection work and be looking to be showing a guard, showing aggression, and even bite on command. But if you leave a lot of those good solid sport dogs on their own to protect a property without getting any commands, without a handler there, an owner there, some of those dogs may not necessarily protect that yard. And in fact, I've known several sport dogs that would actually follow a burglar around the house or even be stolen themselves. Whereas a good solid protection dog with natural guardian instincts would also protect a property or a car without their owner or handler being there. So if there's any topics or subjects that you would like me to cover in another video and you want to get my perspective on it, just leave a comment and let me know and I'll see what I can do. So I hope I've covered most of the points you want to think about if you was interested in having a sport dog or protection dog, or what the differences are. If there's other things that you agree with and don't agree with, please make a comment and I can respond to it.